Hello again, everybody. Welcome to the Railsplitter Athletics Report. I am your host, Rusty Peace, and we got a lot to talk about tonight. LMU lacrosse team now 2-0 on the season after picking up their first road win of the year. Congratulations to Ryan Kuhn and his club. Ladies lacrosse team on the road this coming week, and I believe they'll take on Montreat on Friday, if I'm not mistaken. LMU baseball team in action this coming weekend. They've had several series postponed, banged, moved back, whatever you want to call it. A lot of snow keeping the Railsplitters off the diamond and out of the win column, so hopefully they'll get a couple in this weekend. And the LMU basketball teams will be in action. Golf teams have been participating. The tennis teams with wins over Union this past week. So a lot going on here on the LMU campus. And in terms of LMU athletics, it's that time of year when it's a sports information director, broadcaster, and athletic trainer's nightmare. We'll talk about that as we've got Krystal Evans and Josh Schertz on the show tonight. Stay with us right here on the Railsplitter Athletics Report. Back after this.
Whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, Subway of Harrigan and Middlesboro has your fresh interest at heart. On your way to work, try one of our mouth-watering breakfast sandwiches or flatbread omelets. If it's lunch or dinner you're after, choose from a wide selection of classic, select, or premium sandwiches that are all made specifically to order. Serving a crowd, Subway also has sandwich planners, giant subs, box lunches, and even cookie platters. Be it dine in or carry out, you can eat healthy and eat fresh at Subway. 368 Catawba Avenue in Harrigan and on the corner of the Village Square Mall, Middlesboro. You love your car or truck? Let us help you keep it clean at Soapy J's. Soapy J's has unlimited wash plans to fit every budget. Try our $5 express wash or one of our 3 monthly wash plans. The Wheel Deal, the Soapy J, or the new Blast Wax. With our monthly wash plans, if you pay with credit card, all you do is pay for the present month and your card will be billed on the first of each month. Don't forget, Soapy J's has free vacuums with any wash. Soapy J's Express Car Wash, open 7 days a week. Let us help keep your car or truck clean at Soapy J's. Soapy J's on the Cumberland Gap Parkway, Middlesboro. Their institutional case good or architectural woodwork. Nolan Products Incorporated of Knoxville has been serving East Tennessee, Southwest Virginia, and Southeast Kentucky since 1958. From concept to finish, Nolan Products custom builds to the highest quality standards to meet your facility specifications while using only the finest materials available. Nolan Products has been serving and meeting the needs and requirements of general contractors and architects in East Tennessee and surrounding area for more than 55 years. Nolan Products Incorporated, 912 Forsyth Street Northeast, Knoxville.
Welcome back to the Railsplitter Athletics Report. Krystal Evans and her team are now in the midst of the South Atlantic Conference race in a four-way tie for second place after a loss this past week to Newberry at home and most recently a last-second victory over Mars Hill that puts the Lady Railsplitters at 15-9 on the year and 12-7 in the league standings. And Coach, we've had tight races before in the South Atlantic Conference, but this one is nothing shy crazy.
Well, it's funny. We lose to Newberry. We're tied for second. We lose to Newberry. We drop all the way to fifth. We beat Mars Hill, and we're back in second. So it is definitely a crazy conference, but it does speak to the strength of the conference.
The stars kind of aligned for you on Wednesday night. After that loss on Saturday that knocked you out of second place and back into around the 5 spot, actually, you go in, you pick up a last-second win on a shot by Brittany Guy from midcourt. We'll talk about that in a moment. Gives you the win over Mars Hill, and that wasn't enough. Newberry loses on Wednesday night. By virtue of that loss, you're now in a tie with Wingate, Mars Hill, and Newberry for that second-place position. And with 3 games left, you're still very much in control of your own destiny, but you got to get a little help to get that second place outright.
We definitely do. I mean, Mars Hill and Wingate and Newberry have a couple of tough games left in their conference or in their schedule, and we've got 3 very tough games. So I mean, we just really have to take care of business on our part, and then hope that some things shake out in our favor.
All right, let's go back to Saturday. I know that that's not what you want to do. We got to talk about it. Newberry comes into the house. We beat them probably in our best performance of the year on December 9th down in Newberry, South Carolina. First time in 22 years, I think, the Lady Railsplitters had won down there. But, you know, whenever you're playing Newberry, there's a lot of intangibles there that you can't really factor in. One of them is not necessarily Samantha Creed. We know what we're going to get with her and some of the other players, but for whatever reason, didn't get to the line hardly enough in order to get some points from the stripe. And the three-pointers just weren't there on Saturday.
No, they weren't. We just, again, we got to correct some of the things that we were doing, and I felt like overall we played a pretty solid game, but there were some shots that just didn't go in our favor. Again, we didn't get to the free throw line as much as I would have liked. We just weren't able to pull it out, and Newberry's such a hard matchup for us, and they're a good team, and but at the end of the day, I felt like my team played well, and as much as I would have loved to come down or come away with that victory, it just didn't fall in our favor that night.
Carson Sims hit the jumper off the elbow in that last trip down the floor for LMU. One of the things that you started off the season with as an Achilles heel was turnovers, and while we've had a couple of games that they've gotten up into the upper teens, we've done a pretty good job of limiting turnovers for the most part.
We have. That's something that we've been able to correct. I mean, we were in the 30s at the beginning of the season, and then we kept, chopping away, and now we're in the teens. So that's where we want to be, and hopefully we'll continue to stay that way. And but you have to value the ball. You have to try to win every possession, and it's got to be very detail oriented. And I think our team's done a good job in making those adjustments.
When you and I talked earlier in the week, maybe even earlier today, we were talking about the women's team as compared to the men in terms of shooting and the confidence levels out there on the floor. We have a team that has played with everybody in the league at some point. I mean, Anderson, we literally had them on the ropes, went to double overtime with them at home. We beat Carson Newman once on a last-second shot. The only team we didn't beat so far in the upper echelon of the league is Wingate. Mm-hmm. So that confidence that you feel like should be there, I'm not real sure why that's not in those girls' minds right now in terms of shooting the ball, because they know they can play. They've just got to have better shot selection.
No, I agree. I don't know why they're not looking to take those shots myself. I mean, you look at our men's team, and if they give Lou any daylight, he's letting it go, and he's shooting it with confidence. And Jalen, he don't even have to have any daylight. He'll have a hand in his face. He's still letting it go. And we just, we've got shooters on our team that can do the same thing, and they're in the gym and they're getting extra shots all the time. And and with all the practice that they're getting, that should build their confidence to be able to take it over into a game. But it's I don't know if we're just not reading our defense or what the scenario is, and we're trying to correct that, Rusty. But there were so many shots that I felt like we passed up, wide open shots against Newberry and against Mars Hill, and it's good shooters passing up those shots. And even the shots that we were able to hit, I felt like we were hesitant to even take those shots. So it's definitely going to come down to shot selection, and we're watching a lot of film, trying to determine, do you see the spacing? Are you reading the defense? Do you see that they're all the way in the paint? Why aren't your feet set? Why aren't you ready to knock it down? And that sort of thing. And hopefully we can make that correction going into the Queens game.
One of the things that I'm seeing from the sideline in the last few games is that the opponents we're playing know that we're an inside-oriented game for the most part, and so they're packing it in on our bigs: Megan Pittman, Josie Harding, Lakeisha Beasley, Stephanie Smith, whoever's in the lineup at the time, Courtney Cox, and they're almost baiting us into shooting three-pointers. So we are getting some good looks against the 2-3 matchup, but oddly enough, as you and I talked about, they're not always taking those good looks. They're taking some of the shots they're being baited into shooting.
No, I agree. We're taking contested shots, and we're passing up wide open shots. And so again, we've definitely got to see why we're not reading the defense, why we're not reading the spacing, and correct it as soon as possible. Because at the end of the day, if teams are playing us in a 2-3, and they're packing it in, they're taking away our inside presence. I mean, our perimeter game really has to step up.
Yeah, I don't know that there's a magic wand out there that you can wave and just find the answer. I mean, it could be something as simple as when that person gets the ball out there on the perimeter in their sweet spot, or in the wheelhouse, as I like to call it, maybe somebody from the sideline needs to say, shoot that, just shoot that. But by that time, you've hesitated for a moment, and it may be too late.
Right. No, I agree. But again, it's one of those things, you're a shooter, and we've got shooters on this team. We do. And you're constantly looking at your opponent, and you're constantly just determining their distance, how much distance do they have from you, where's the ball at, are they still in help? If they are helping, you're going to move up to make yourself pass available, and we're not even making that adjustment. The second that your team is helping, or just like you said, we've been playing a lot of teams that have been playing against a 2-3. Well, once the defense collapses, you need to move accordingly so that you can get your shot. You're giving yourself enough space to get your shot off, and right now we're just not making that read. And again, working on it in practice, and hopefully we can correct it.
Big win on Wednesday night over Mars Hill that puts you back into a tie for second place. And while it wasn't one of the greatest games that we've played this year, the end finish was probably the most exciting we've seen. And we're going to watch that right here as the Lady Railsplitters. If we can get the audio on that, that would be great. I don't know if that's possible or not, but Brittany Guy takes it out right there, and she's going to take the final shot. Guy, unfortunate from mid-court right there. You see the bench explode. Coach, one of the most exciting finishes that I've seen in LMU women's basketball history in a long time. Let's watch it again here. We're going to run it a couple more times just to give you a full look at it. Gave up a baseline drive here, and I know you weren't happy with that.
That's the one thing I don't want to keep replaying. We can keep replaying the shot, but let's not keep replaying the layup that we just gave up. But anyways, that's part of the game.
There we go. Here we go. There's the shot. Boom. Look at the crowd. I tell you what, they were happy with that one. I see CJ, Mr. Superfan, down there on the sideline, showing full unsleeved shoulders there. And LMU winning over Mars Hill to split the home and away series. Here it is one more time. Chavis drives the baseline, lays it in. Great shot by our director. Take it from midcourt, and it goes. Unbelievable. Yeah, when I talked with Adam Haley, our director of that particular game, about the shot, I knew that it had the distance. He knew that it was online. We didn't know the other factor from our vantage point, but boy, when it went, I think everybody in the building knew what happened. We just came from behind to win that one with no time on the clock.
Well, obviously, if you can pull off a victory like that, it's always exciting. And, we've been able to do that twice this year, with the Jasmine Kelly hitting the last second shot against Carson Newman, and then Brittany Guy now hitting the last second shot against Marcel. So, anytime, I don't like being in those situations. I'm sure that it's great for the fans, but I was very happy that we were able to pull it out.
Coach, we got about 30 seconds left in this segment. A huge week for you. We got another show between now and the end of the regular season, but this week, 2 road games back-to-back. You're at Queens on Saturday over in Charlotte. Then you go to Anderson, the #1 team in the league, on Wednesday. And this is a monumental week, biggest week for LMU women's basketball this year.
It is, and I've just been telling my girls, we just got to take one game at a time and take care of business each and every night and play to the best of our abilities, because I still don't feel like we've played to our potential yet. One game this season. I mean, Newberry was the closest that we've come at their place, and so again, we just really got to be focused on what we're doing, and hopefully we can pull away with some victories.
Coach, good luck.
Thank you.
All right, Saturday's action gets underway at 2 o'clock in Charlotte. I'll have pregame coverage at 1:40 through the LMU Sports Network, WLMU 91.3, so join us there. We're going to take this time out. We'll be back to talk with Josh Schertz after this.
Established in 1982, Dixie Roofing Incorporated of La Follette has been the industry's leader in commercial roofing throughout Knoxville, Tennessee, and surrounding counties for more than 30 years. From medical facilities to office buildings and educational institutions, Dixie Roofing has the experience, expertise, equipment, and know-how to handle roofing needs of any commercial structure, big or small. Dixie Roofing is also on the web at www.dixieroofing.com. Dixie Roofing Incorporated.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise and be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
Everywhere that we go, he makes people laugh and makes people smile, and I feel like I have that quality.
He's the one who always takes me fishing.
I watch golf with him. And
I watch him cook, because when I grow up, I want to be a cook too.
We have the same faces like this.
Dad is the one, when you fall, that picks you up.
That unconditional sense of presence and reassurance is really what makes him my father.
Welcome back. Josh Schertz and the Railsplitters still number 4 nationally ranked, and the ball keeps bouncing for them as they are now, 23-2 on the year and 19-0 in league play, still making history as each game they win without falling is just another step in the ladder that's going to make the next team very hard to accomplish. So, Coach, big week this past week, back-to-back wins again. Both at home. You got Newberry on Saturday and then now Mars Hill. And so with that, you're number 1 in the region with the latest poll that came out on Wednesday and still number 4 nationally ranked.
Yeah, certainly had a good week, won 2 games. I thought performance-wise, was pretty solid. I don't think we put 40 minutes together in either game, but, played well in spurts and certainly had enough spurts, particularly against Newberry, to get the job done against a very good team on our home floor. And I thought, last night, the last 27, 28 minutes were pretty good in terms of particularly on the defensive side of the ball, and that got us out in transition. So, we've put ourselves in a good position. I think at this point, we know we're going to finish 1 or 2 in the league. We know we're in the NCAA tournament. Now it's, can we win the league and, potentially host. But as we talk about all the time, the more important aspect for us is, what's the level we got to get to the big picture to achieve our ultimate goal and working towards getting that level and doing it consistently.
I don't know if we have the screen to pop up. I was looking at the South Atlantic, there we go, with the South Atlantic Conference standings following Wednesday night's win. And when you look at those standings, it's just astonishing to me that you look back and Newberry, a team that really, in my mind, is an NCAA tournament caliber team, is back in the 5 spot right now.
Yeah, well, the depth of the league, it's incredible. I think we got 5 of the top 10 in the region. The league is brutal. We've had 4 teams in the national top 25 this year, and we're about to play our 6th game against a nationally ranked opponent here this season. That's incredible. I'm sure that's the most by far in the history of the school. So the league has been really, the margins are thin. Newberry loses last night to Lenore Ryan on basically a buzzer beater by Will Perry to lose by 3. Perry hits a 3 to win the game, and they've had some close losses. Our game, they lost a lead in the final 2 minutes against Queens. They could easily be 3rd, but that's when the margins are small. And they are in our league. The difference a lot of times is how you handle yourself in close games, and are you able to find a way at the end.
Well, if you look at the standings, you see that Queens is also 23-2, and oddly enough, this Saturday, you and your old head coach, Bart Lundy, the guy that gave you your start, basically, you're going to square off. You're ranked number 4. Your team is. His is ranked number 6. Both 23-2. You're 1 in the region. He's 3 in the region, and there's very little room.
They're 2 in the region.
Separation. They're 2 in the region. I beg your pardon. Yeah, King's 3. Beg your pardon. So a lot of stakes to play for this Saturday.
Yeah, it's certainly a high-stake game when you look at it. They're a lot on the line. I think it's a game of obviously really significant. A lot of ways. I don't think it's as significant as the games in the NCAA tournament, because those are obviously, winner go home scenarios. But it's certainly probably the most anticipated game, from our end, and I think that's because of how well both teams have played. Both teams are 23-2. I think we've won 13 in a row. They've won 9 in a row. They're playing their best basketball right now. If you watch them here in February, they're on an incredible run, not just beating people, but really just dominating people. They were up 32 on Catawba last night with 4 minutes to go. They were up 45 against Mars Hill, up 25 against Wingate. They're just blowing people's doors off, and they got great talent. They utilize their talent well. They're sound on both sides of the ball. They rebound. There's really nothing. You look at them and think that they have a weakness that you can exploit. You just got to go out, and again, our guys are not going to be certainly, I don't think, overwhelmed by the moment, but certainly we're going to have to play our very best game of the year to have a chance down there.
Yeah, I'm certain there's going to be a big crowd, and when you're playing guys of their caliber like Daniel Camps, Rob Lewis, Marquise Rankin, Sean Morgan, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, I mean, it makes for a very big match, a very balanced attack for Coach Lundy and his squad. And again, they've earned everything that they've gotten this year, and they're number 6 for a reason. Coach, away from the actual playing floor this week, there's been a lot of things popping up, like Lou Choice is being nominated for a national award, top 50 watch list on that particular award. Jalen Steele has his jersey retired down at Fulton High School, and of course Jarrell Simmons is the AstroTurf Sack Player of the Week. We'll start first with Steele. I mean, when he had his jersey retired, it was supposed to have happened a couple of weeks ago because the weather was pushed back. I thought it was a really classy thing that you went down and showed support for that, even though you weren't around to really be there for his high school career. You were coaching here at LMU. Yeah,
he's Jalen's a guy that's come in the year here, made a great impact. He's a really good player. Obviously, he's an outstanding human being. I thought it was obviously very, very well deserved honor for him. All-time leading scorer, 2 state titles. Mr. Basketball in Tennessee his last year. So it was very, very well deserved and honor for a guy who had an incredible high school career, and he showed a lot of about who he is in his college career. He's had a lot of injuries, battled back from a lot of things, had kind of a weird, ending to his tenure up there at Mississippi State, and maybe other guys would have folded, not continued to play through the injuries, and then how things ended up there. And he winds up here, and has really been a huge part of our success. I mean, I think he's second in the league behind Lou in made threes. He's been a guy that certainly we wouldn't be in the position we're in without him.
No doubt about that. Lou Choice, a guy that continues to amaze. I think he had 10 threes on Saturday against Newberry for the second time this year. That was a record until Jalen Steele got it back against Newberry the first time down there on December 19th of 2015. That had stood for more than 20 years. And now it's been done 3 times this season. Choice twice with 10 threes, and of course Jalen once. Yeah, incredible. That hasn't been done in 20 years, and it happens 3 times in 25 games, but speaks to the incredible shooters that those guys are. Certainly, I've told you, I think Jalen's probably the best pure shooter I've ever coached, and Lou is right there neck and neck, and Lou's just, what I'm really happy with him is he's become such a good basketball player. You look at Lou, and he takes on the other team's best player defensively. Most of the guys you consider elite players in our league are elite because they're elite offensively. Lou is very rare in that he's a two-way player. Lou defends, Lou rebounds, Lou's second on the team. He has 90 assists on the year, and he does what he does, for us offensively. I don't think there's anybody in the league who's more valuable to the team than Lou is to us. Maybe guys equally, but I don't think there's anybody in the league more valuable than Lou is to our basketball team. Without a doubt, some big compliments when you're talking about 2 of the purest shooters that you've ever coached or seen. Coach, oddly enough, with that in mind, they're not even the leading scorer on the team. Jarrell Simmons averaging better than 20 a game, and last week put up big numbers, averaging 33 a game in 2 contests. Yeah, Jarrell's had what a great year. He's just been absolutely unbelievable for us. And if you look at those guys as pure shooters, Jarrell's not doesn't have the volume of threes that those guys do, but he's percentage-wise he's the best in the history of the school. You look at him; he's the all-time leader in three-point percentage here, and what a finisher, scorer. I mean, that's what Jarrell does. He's wired to score. And one thing that I've really been blown away the last few games is his rebounding. 12 last night, 11 I think 2 games ago. Had 7 against Newberry. Jarrell's really again starting to kind of expand his game and be committed on to different areas, but there's nobody in the league, maybe exception to Charles Clark, that I think is as versatile a scorer as Jarrell. Jarrell Simmons, well-deserved AstroTurf Player of the Week in the South Atlantic Conference honor, and I might add that Lou Choice now in only his junior season is just a little bit over 40 3-pointers away from capturing the all-time record for threes here at LMU, just behind the great Nick Sanford, 4-time All-American. Coach, big week ahead for you. We got less than a minute. You got Queens on Saturday, a nationally ranked game. Not for all the marbles, but pretty close. And then you go on the road Wednesday to the dreaded Anderson Trojans. Yeah, it doesn't get any easier. Queens is as we talked about, a huge game, a lot of high stakes, have to play very well. Then you go on the road to Anderson, which has always been a very difficult place to play. Jeff Brookman's got a young team that's battling and scrapping. We'll have to go down there and play well and really focus in on trying to get the level we need to get to so we can have success, when it matters most. Josh, we love us some LMU basketball. Good luck this week, and we're looking forward to having you back in the house that Tech's built for the season finale against Catawba on the 27th.
Look forward to it, Russ. Thanks.
Good luck. We'll take this time out. Be back with more. This is the Railsplitter Athletics Report.
The Old Town Grill is a special place where you bring more than family, more than friends. Bring a hearty appetite, because at the Old Town Grill, you'll never walk away hungry. A delicious change from the ordinary. The perfect place to bring the entire family. The best food and plenty of it. Join the fun and treat your appetite to something special.
It's the OTG.
The OTG is the place to be.
Join the Vive Broadband TV revolution. Vive gives you the freedom to choose with loads of new channels like Up TV, The Hub, The Blaze, and Cubo. Vive's Watch TV Everywhere feature gives you the freedom to watch participating channels just about anywhere, anytime, on any device. And Vive Broadband Speed gives you the freedom to power internet TV services like Netflix, Hulu, Apple TV, and Google Chromecast. Join the TV revolution at vivebroadband.com.
If I got to go to college, oh my goodness. I like discovering new things. You get to see what works for you and what doesn't. That helps you evolve as a person. And you get to make like a supernova of skill or talent or whatever it is. I've always wanted to go to college. I just feel like that's my destiny. My name is Queen, and I am your dividend.
Welcome back, folks. I would tell you that if you want to follow LMU baseball, the best thing that you could do is pull up the athletics website, www.lmurailsplitters.com. Go to the baseball page, check to see what the start times are on this weekend series. I think they're actually playing on Friday. They're scheduled, I believe, for a 9 to 7 on Saturday, but with the weather as it is in this area at this time of year, you know, anything can happen, and it's really minute by minute in terms of what day and what time that LMU will play, so check that out. Again, the Lady Railsplitter lacrosse team on the road, and I believe it's Montreat on Friday. So we want to wish them the best of luck as Caitlin Crossi, head coach of the Lady Railsplitters, looks for her first win of the season. Let's see, on the road, I think we've got men's and women's basketball. I believe we talked about that a little bit ago, and they'll be over in Charlotte, North Carolina at Queens University, 2 and 4 o'clock tip-off. You can catch those games on WLMU 91.3 FM, and if you're not within range of that signal, you can get it on the World Wide Web at 913thegap.com, and I'll have all your play-by-play coverage. I don't know if Queens does streaming video. There's a good possibility that they do, but you might want to check the schedule pages of both of the basketball teams, and if they do have streaming video, you can click on the link, and if you'd rather watch, I completely understand. That's about all the time we have for this week. Until next Thursday, Adam Haley will have that show, by the way. I'm Rusty Peace. Good night, everybody.